Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we're exploring the main topic for animation, which is CSS transitions. By making elements grow, fade, or slide, transitions add a beautiful touch to your designs. So, let's not waste any time and dive right in. Let's start by creating a simple box using a div element. In our style sheet, we'll select the div element and apply the following properties: a width of 150 pixels, a height of 150 pixels, a background color of Dodger blue, and a cursor with the value pointer. Now, let's specify a new width value for the box when a user hovers over it. Apply hover pseudoclass on div. We want the width to increase to 600 pixels. When you hover over the element, its length will increase. To make the transition smooth, we can use the transition property. We'll set the transition property to affect the width property and have a duration of 3 seconds. This means that when we hover over the box, its width will increase to 600 pixels for 3 seconds. We can do the same for the height of the box. When the box is hovered over, specify a height of 300 pixels. In the transition property, we'll set the duration to 5 seconds for height. This means that the height of the box will take 5 seconds to increase to 300 pixels when hovered over. To move further, simply remove the height-related code. We can also control the speed curve of the transition effect. Let's create 5 divs with the class name div1. Copy it and paste it for the other 4 divs. Also, change the class name for each div. Inside each div, we'll add text representing different transition timing functions: linear, ease, ease in, ease out, and ease in out. Separate each box using the margin top property with 10 pixels. Select the first box using the class name div1 and apply the transition timing function property. Now, copy this code and paste it for the remaining boxes, making sure to change the class names accordingly. For the first div, we'll set the value to linear, which means the transition effect will have the same speed from start to end. For the second div, we'll use the value ease, which creates a transition effect with a slow start, then fast, and finally ends slowly. The third div will have the value ease in, resulting in a transition effect with a slow start. The fourth div will have the value ease out, producing a transition effect with a slow end. Finally, the fifth div will have the value ease in out, which creates a transition effect with a slow start and end. Now, let's talk about another property called transition delay. This property specifies a delay in seconds for the transition effect. In our HTML, we'll use a single div and apply the transition delay property with a value of 3 seconds. When hovering over the element, the transition effect starts after a delay of 3 seconds. The box width will return to its normal size after 3 seconds. Instead of using the combined transition properties, we can specify them individually. For example, we can set transition property to width to apply the transition to the width property. Then, we can set the transition duration to 2 seconds, meaning the transition takes 2 seconds to increase the width. We can use the transition timing function with the value linear to control the speed curve of the transition. Lastly, transition delay can be set to 3 seconds, specifying a delay for the transition effect. To make it even simpler, you can simply comment out the code. But here's another way to combine all these properties step by step using the transition property. With the transition property, we can specify each property individually in the order mentioned earlier. First, we set the transition property to width. Then, we set the transition duration to 2 seconds. Next, we set the transition timing function to linear. Finally, we set the transition delay to 3 seconds. So, with just one line of code using the transition property, we can combine all these properties: transition property, transition duration, transition timing function, and transition delay. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced developer, mastering these techniques will take your designs to the next level. So go ahead, experiment, and have fun with CSS transitions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more web development tutorials, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.